The first coronavirus update from the county in weeks amid some growing concerns about the Delta variant of the virus.
And the cutting edge research a local company is doing to try to figure out just how much each person is protected against the virus after getting vaccinated and what we can do with that information.
And it's getting hotter as we head into this weekend. I'll pinpoint the heat advisories and heat warnings that have already been extended over the next couple of days. ABC 10 News at 11 starts now.
ABC 10 News at 11 starts now.
Right now, we are following a press conference with county leaders and health officials regarding the coronavirus. It is their first update like this in nearly a month and since the statewide reopening.
So far this morning, they've been talking about the latest on cases in San Diego, how the vaccines are performing, and how they're seeing the Delta variant affect the unvaccinated. And we're going to have more on the Delta variant and potential protections in just a moment. But first, a quick look at where San Diego stands with vaccinations. You can see that nearly 1.9 million San Diegans have been fully vaccinated. That is about 2/3 of the local population. We will continue to monitor that county health news conference and bring you any major updates. Meanwhile, some new guidance for schools today from the CDC. Thanks for joining us. I'm Virginia Cha.
And I'm Jim Patton. Good to have you here. The agency releasing new guidelines today saying in-person learning should be a priority this fall after many students spent a year or so distance learning. Well, while the CDC says it's important to get kids in the classrooms this fall, they're also urging districts to take reasonable safety precautions, which could involve wearing masks and maintaining some distancing.
That is until more children can be vaccinated. Right now, people as young as 12 are eligible. The CDC also recommends school districts get active once eligibility expands, and that could mean setting up vaccination sites right on campus.
In recent weeks, we have seen growing concern about the impact the Delta variant could have on the world's attempt to leave the pandemic behind. Now, Pfizer says it has a solution, wants the regulators to help clear the way for that. The company says it plans on asking the FDA for authorization for a booster shot. Now, that would mean a third dose for anyone who's already been fully vaccinated with Pfizer's drug. Well, the vaccine has lower efficacy against the Delta variant. It still protects against the worst symptoms, but Pfizer says its protections will drop over time. Still, some health experts say it's probably too soon for a booster.
When do we need booster immunizations? And actually a related question is, who would need booster immunizations when? I won't be surprised if there's a recommendation in the fall or winter that, let's say, people over the age of 70, right, or people in high-risk groups.
Still, Pfizer says it plans on applying for emergency use authorization for a booster shot as early as next month. Moderna and Johnson & Johnson have also said they're researching boosters as well. Well, between the Delta variant and the news about booster shots, you may be wondering just how protected you are if you have been vaccinated.
Well, a local biotech company is looking into that, whether individuals need a booster shot. ABC 10 News reporter Natay Holmes shows us how a new test can tell if a fully vaccinated person is protected at all levels.
In 10 minutes, it can tell you what your levels of neutralizing antibodies are.
Axum Biotechnologies, a local healthcare company in Sorrento Valley, has created a rapid test that will measure a person's immunity levels to the COVID-19 virus. With just one drop of blood,
it tells you whether you have high levels of neutralizing antibodies, medium levels, low levels, or no levels. And again, neutralizing antibodies will block the virus from entering into your cells.
CEO John Hugh Miller says the company is currently running a clinical study and following individuals' immunity levels before and after getting the vaccines. They're noticing a booster shot may be needed sooner rather than later.
We're noticing that, the levels of neutralizing antibodies begin to drop off after a couple of months. And everybody's different. So some people maintain a little higher levels and for a longer period, but in general, there's a bell curve, and they're dropping down so that, after a period of time, you really don't have much in the way of neutralizing antibodies.
Hugh Miller says researchers have also seen cases where antibodies have dropped off, then spiked up again.
And there's only one way that happens without a booster, and they came in contact with the virus. They didn't even feel it, they didn't know it, they were asymptomatic, but were they contagious, and could they give it to somebody who had not been vaccinated? The jury's still out.
Axum Biotechnologies hopes to have their rapid tests available in clinics in the near future. As of right now, they are waiting on an emergency use approval from the FDA. Nate Holmes, ABC 10 News.
And this is still an early area of research. Scientists trying to determine what level of antibodies are needed to stay protected from the virus. And a natural decline in antibodies is normal. The vaccines also produce other cells that could help protect you.
We are also tracking the heat that is descending on big chunks of our county. Let's get to Megan Perry, who is following that very closely. Hey, Megan, what are you seeing now?
Well, we are pretty toasty, and it's not just our county. It is pretty much the entire, or at least portions of the entire western half of the country. In fact, almost all of California is in that excessive heat warning, which is the pink, or the orange, which is the heat advisory. The immediate coast and the Sierras are pretty much the only areas not in those heat advisories or warnings. And that goes for us here locally. So the heat advisory for the mountain areas has now been extended until Monday night. We're looking at 90s for areas like Julian and Palomar Mountain. Tomorrow, I think Mount Laguna will also climb into the 90s. Lower elevations like Campo, Tierra del Sol, we're looking at 100s. The excessive heat warning in the desert areas begins tomorrow. That has also been extended now until Monday. And it's already hot in the deserts. We're about 103 there. Temperatures in the 90s in Warner Springs and in Campo, 80s for most of our inland neighborhoods right now. Temperatures in the 70s along our coast. That's going to be the place to beat the heat. Not only hot, but humid as well. Talk more about that in your full forecast. Virginia? Oh, Jim.
Yeah, Megan, thank you very much. And this weekend, as we in for a scorcher, temperatures rising up and down the state of California. The state now issuing a flex alert, asking people to conserve energy. Flex alert is in effect from 4 to 9 this evening. During those hours, people are being asked to keep the thermostat set to 78 degrees or higher to avoid using major appliances and to turn off any unnecessary lights. This will be the third flex alert of the summer so far.
Well, the teenager accused of murdering an Uber driver was arraigned this morning.
Yeah, ABC 10 News reporter Marie Cornell joining us live at Juvenile Hall. Marie, she entered a plea of not guilty.
Yeah, Jim, and she appeared before the judge virtually. And though people were not allowed to physically be in the courtroom, her family, as well as the victim's family, logged into the hearing. During a virtual hearing, a 17-year-old girl was formally charged with murder, accused of stabbing an Uber driver to death in National City. You didn't see her face, but through her lawyer, she pled not guilty to all charges. Investigators say the teen killed 58-year-old Raquel Spawn Weber on Tuesday. Weber's family says she was a married mother of 2 and had just become a grandmother.
Whenever you needed something, whatever, she was always there. She was a happy person, happy.
Weber's family, including her husband, joined the hearing via phone, as did the teen's parents. Since Weber's death, friends have laid flowers at the scene where she was killed. Police have yet to release a motive for Weber's death or if the two knew each other. The teen's lawyer also asked about the possibility of bail, which the judge denied, saying, quote, detention is appropriate given the serious nature of the allegations. The teen's next hearing will be on July 20th. Live from Kearney Mesa, Marie Cornell, ABC 10 News.
Thank you, Marie. Now to the latest on the story we first told you about yesterday. President Biden laying out the details for his plan to withdraw the U.S. military from Afghanistan nearly 20 years after 9/11. ABC's Faith Abube has more on that plan and how the Taliban are responding.
Just as American combat troops prepare to end a 20-year military mission in Afghanistan, the Taliban saying it's making gains, claiming it now controls 85% of the country.
Is the Taliban takeover of Afghanistan now inevitable?
No, it is not.
Thursday, President Biden saying the future of Afghanistan is in the hands of the Afghan people, even as critics say conditions on the ground are still too volatile for the U.S. to leave.
We did not go to Afghanistan to nation build. And it's the right and the responsibility of the Afghan people alone to decide their future and how they want to run their country.
U.S. combat forces now set to be out of Afghanistan by August 31st, instead of the original September 11th anniversary deadline. Biden brushing off some who say the administration is moving too fast. The president defending the new timeline as a safety calculation.
Staying would have meant U.S. troops taking casualties. American men and women back in the middle of a civil war. How many thousands more Americans' daughters and sons were you willing to risk?
Questions also lingering about the safety of Afghan former translators who helped American troops during the long war. The U.S. working to evacuate them, but the Taliban insisting they will not be harmed.
And President Biden also made clear that he's not declaring mission accomplished. However, he did recognize that the U.S. has achieved some goals. In Washington, Faith Abube, ABC News.
The plan to withdraw is both polarizing and bipartisan, with President Biden picking up where former President Trump left off in some ways. There are a lot of questions about what will happen next in that region. At 11:30 this morning, we're going to talk to a national security expert about some of those lingering questions and what this move means for American foreign policy going forward.